You're not going to hang around for 10 minutes. We're not going to talk for long.
The what now?
We're only going to talk for like 10, 20 minutes.
Oh, good. I've said everything I had to say.
Hey
Look at that.
guys.
That's beautiful. Nice guy. Have a look at that for you.
Wow. Just in time for the sunset.
Are we talking?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, wow.
We
wow.
are in free here.
Can we share that camera shot somehow? That would be pretty cool.
Which one?
The day coming to an end.
Oh,
over
actually, if you spin that round, I'll put the camera on.
I'll probably go to get out that window. I'll open the door.
There you go. That's as far as it'll go. There you go, guys. Look at that.
Can I see the outside? No, probably not.
You're gonna have to keep just going a little bit more.
That's alright. We're about to lose the visual anyway. It's about to get taken by the clouds for the day.
All right. So we were just having a great conversation. We thought we'd need to be podcasting this.
We can say goodnight to everybody.
But we're just waiting for the power to drop out because of our off-grid system. We've got some not enough batteries, but
we were using this camera yesterday, weren't we?
yeah. So I'll go back to this camera.
Oh yeah, that's good.
This is our 2 cameras.
How you going, people? Or maybe they're more than people.
Oh, sorry about
Who have
that.
we got with us today? Kings, queens, gods, goddesses.
Yeah.
We got viewers from everywhere again, past, present, future.
There we go. Just worked out what was making that noise. You know, that background noise? That was your mic. So, but if you use this mic, that one there, it should be alright. Just say something.
Testing. If anybody's in the chat, they want to just put up a thumbs up so that the sound quality's good, no interference. Have we got a live chat that we can look at?
Yeah, there is a live chat, but you got to have people listening in and using it. Yeah, I don't know. The mic's not working for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So this is our sound check. Definitely a. Oh, that's better.
It's good.
No more hum. Oh, there's back again. I'm pretty sure you can edit on the.
Should we stop recording while we sort this out?
Nah, we'll just keep going.
Alright, testing.
It's funny when it's sitting in the stand, it's making a noise.
Oh, so you think I should hold it? How's that?
Yeah, well that's better. There's no hum. I wonder if it's
It's a vibration from the table. We need to put something on there, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, you just try to do it. Here you go. Better?
Better?
Yeah.
Better again?
Yeah.
How's that?
Even better.
Alright,
Yeah.
perfect. Let's use that.
Interesting. There we go. Some vibration coming through the stand.
Alright, well, that's it.
Electrical.
Technical issue sorted.
Whether it's electrical or like it's a vibration.
Yeah.
It have to be vibration.
Mm.
Yeah, so what were we? We were talking about spirituality and religion for the last couple of hours.
Yeah, for the last few days, probably.
For the last few days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the final sort of idea around it all?
Well, one of the conclusions that, or not necessarily a conclusion, but one of the thoughts that came previous to this conversation was we were talking about the tainting of the names of our leaders, and whether it's now a royal name, a political name, or a God name. Even the word God now is tainted. It has a negative link to it. And if you're to go forwards in a positive direction, are these terms actually going to be able to come forwards? God, King, Queen, Prime Minister, President, whatever, are these titles now completely lost the confidence of the people?
Yeah, because they have. It's sort of like what happened with religion, like Christianity. Like people just lost faith in it. And then people became atheists. You go the complete opposite.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, I don't want anyone to rule me because they're so bad.
Or then
That's what it's like.
Or then they just do it in private,
Do what in private though?
Acknowledge that title in their own way.
Yeah, maybe they just totally don't believe that having a leader is the right way to be in a society. Could be, and you see that, right? You see such a push away from that idea of a monarchy. Like in our world, if you speak to most Westerners, they'd be fully against it. It's like, whoa, it's almost a repulsion.
Yeah.
And that, there's a lot of, to me, there's a lot of programming to break down. Yeah. To get to that place where someone would go, oh, okay, and consider it. Yeah, a lot of work, because we've been, you look at every Hollywood movie, a lot of these movies are all about it's making kings and queens look bad. Everything. There's not many that show a really good king. Yeah, that's true. They're always the rich evil one or something like that. It's probably the only good one is Simba. Simba, King Arthur. The lion, right? King Arthur, they tell stories about him that people like. They could show, because you see Simba, it's about a rulers that rule the kingdom. Yeah. And look at the prosperity that they bring everyone, all the animals. And then you got next door and Scar, the evil ruler. Yeah. It's just got desert and no one wants to be there. Yeah. Everyone's fucked. It's like he's a shitty ruler, and so everyone left. And so they've all come to where the Mufasa is. Like this is what the proper story should be. Sure. And it's the opposite in so much literature, and so it's been fully corrupted. Yeah, and it's always been the underlying narrative, hasn't it? In terms of, it's mainly been more the male storyline of leaders, of having this overlooked figure that then becomes the destructive force. Whether it is like in the movie, that was the brother of the chief, who wasn't happy that he wasn't considered to be a chief. Well, he was like set. Yeah, so he came in with this destructive energy. To do some sabotage, and there's always somebody who's striving for more than what they've been allotted. Yes. And then they're going to create a kind of a chaos. Yes. And it's going to be either a kind of chaos that produces a good result that creates a new following, or a chaos that leads to a time of uncertainty and mistrust, and it spreads out. And if it's done in a deceptive way, which many of those it's treason, I guess, isn't it? When treason to go against a royal and try and take their place. Yeah, I think so. So so that treason is a poison that then creates it's generally done on a bed of lies. Yeah, it's normally done on a bed of lies. Yeah, that's right. Because it's a fair king. Because that's the story of Macbeth, is that in Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. It's all about treachery.
Yeah. So it's a poisoning of the minds of the people.
For power.
Through lies.
But for power.
Yeah.
Make like money and power will
Yeah.
make people do evil things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're always saying, is to have a leader who has good morals. And I don't know if I said it yesterday, but this idea of like as above, so below makes more sense when you see it as, if the leader is a good leader, then that will filter down as above, so below. And it's all depends on who you have making the decisions.
How well do you remember the story of the Lion King?
A little bit. I've saw it a few times.
So if we look about it from perspective of one of our previous podcasts, we talked about everybody in the tribe has an important role, equally as important. What was the name of the dad again? Simba? Or whatever.
Wasn't it
Mufasa.
Mufasa.
Yeah, so his role was the chief. His role was the decision maker. To prepare the next chief, which was his son.
Yes.
Now, as the uncle, what would have been his healthy role if he had have chosen to this is Scar I'm referring to.
Yeah.
If he had have held his place in the tribe, which he had been allotted and assigned, he was the brother of the chief, he would have had some level of status.
Yeah.
So he had a role which was healthy, but he didn't accept it. He wanted his brother's role.
Yeah.
He thought he was better at it.
He wanted to be king.
He thought he was better than him.
Where if he had have been on Mufasa's side,
sure. How would he? How should he have been harmoniously?
He would have been like the right hand man.
Yeah.
He would have been the man like who still was essential for the kingdom to happen, because you've got to have people around you.
Probably, actually,
people.
Actually, he would have worked very closely with the chief's son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the chief would have been too busy to do that himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Like like that was the story of Osiris and Isis. Like he was off. Osiris was off doing campaigns outside of Egypt.
Yeah.
When Set started behaving badly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've always got to have people to stand.
So he had a very important role, grooming the next king, basically.
Right.
Trusted role.
Yeah.
You know, but he decided that wasn't.
No, he wanted the top.
Wasn't.
Job.
He thought was worthy of something better, and he would have probably made an excellent groomer for young Simba.
Right.
You know, he did it in his way anyway, because he forced Simba to have his own journey and become his own lion, and in his way he did do his role.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. That's the dark and night, right? The dark taught Simba many lessons to be a better ruler.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think that's the story of, you know, that's how it just works. There is a good and dark, and the people will get corrupted, and it's that journey through.
So how does a good king maintain himself when he is aware that that's there?
Yeah, I think that's probably the challenge of a ruler, is not being, or seeing truth and not being betrayed, and knowing when someone is lying and when someone is telling the truth, and who is on your team and who is not on your team, who, like that, all that is, you'd have to have a special skill to be able to see it all. Like, yeah. And that's where I think that spiritual ability, being more spiritual, and this is where they say having an enlightened like king, like Jesus, he has special talents that allow him to connect in. He's more connected to the divine because he's more spiritual, he's more light. And so then he can, and the story of Solomon, he was meant to be one of the wisest mans ever. He was a king of the Israelites. But he had an ability to know right and wrong and all these traits that he needed as a king. because you're being confronted with decisions all day long by the, I guess, people on the land, you know.
Sure.
You've got to make the right decision.
Sure. And perhaps a good king understands, has a level of wisdom in terms of understanding that he is a carrier of a torch or a baton, and he's doing it for a time, and he understands that in his time he handles every situation that comes before him the best way that he can, and even if this energy is coming through which is negative and he feels it and he feels powerless to stop it, he's aware, and he's aware of the possible positives that can come out of that experience too, maybe.
100%. And that's, I showed you that book, the Tao, the Tao Te Ching. Like in that, it tells you how using the Tao, exactly what you just said, using the Tao to be a leader and allowing things to happen. And you know, the big part of it is not be egoic. It's like to be a ruler that no one knows. That's what they say. Like to be a ruler that you just you rule, but other people stand up. You know, it's like it's empowering people. Sure. Yeah. It's a fire that you carried, and you're lighting people's torches up along the way. Yes. Yeah, that's right. And it's not about being the leader. It's about building a whole harmony. It's about building harmony. So that's pretty cool. When I was always drawn to that book, and when it said it was for kings, it sort of made sense. Okay, like the things he says is all about how to run your kingdom, and how do you have disputes with other people, and how do you deal with these things. Yeah, it's really, really cool. There's not a lot of books like that have that sort of ancient wisdom in it, on how to live in the world. Musashi and the Five Rings is a good one. Yeah, I've heard the title, but I don't know much about the story. What do you want to tell me about that one? It's sort of like his life lessons, like life hacks. Okay. Yeah. Musashi, that's Asian of some kind. He's the Japanese samurai. Japanese samurai. Never lost a battle, supposedly. Yeah. This fight with two swords. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he was a real master. Yeah. Master, and he used to, in his fights, he'd always upset because they'd challenge somebody, like the best guy in the area. They'd fight to the death. Sure. And like what a world that would be. Yeah. Well, it's very primal. There's a lot of animals do that, you know, and they sort out who's the leader of their pack or their herd. Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is probably how it works for us as well. In some ways, you don't have to resort to violence. Well, yeah, fighting's different now. Yeah, there's a different way. It's a different battlefield now. Yeah, that's right. Different ways. Yeah, and eventually, I think you get to a point where you don't need to fight. You just negotiate. You come to an agreement. Right, a fair agreement. That's fair for both. Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's just a mindset change. Sure. Yeah. If you're coming from a place of abundance, you can have that bit of land. That's fine. You know, like we'll work together. Yeah. Yeah. We can see that could be something that would be awesome. You know, that ideal situation, everything working out, peaceful outcomes. Yeah. I guess what we're searching for peaceful solutions. Yeah, we want to see violence not in any innocent person's backyard. Yeah, so we're trying to understand what's creating this kind of disruption and need for wars and anger at your brothers and your sisters and from different countries and different races and different religions, ways of life. Yeah, and we're trying to eliminate that problem, but we're getting to the conclusion, I guess, that it's a constant cycle. Yeah, that negative energy is always going to come in and pollute a harmonious environment,
and lessons are going to be learned from it for everybody involved, and the next thing will come around again. So in a way, maybe this idea is possibly something which is too very idealistic. We got to just kind of, if we're drawing on the conclusions of the past, you know.
I reckon though, my theory is that you get to a certain level of consciousness, and then war no longer needs to be done. You don't need to fight anymore. Like you can if you reach a certain level, you can then just sort it out.
Sure. So that history in its own way is a narrative, which is it's a limiting. You're limiting yourself if you're a true person of history and the patterns. You're never going to see a different outcome.
Possibly not. We need to be looking for that. We are evolving more and more as time evolves.
That's right, and that so as part of that evolution, that peaceful idea is coming.
I reckon. I really do. I think we can. You've always got to. It's like hopefully there's a point where we never have to have any defense. You know, like we're all one nation and we're all one connected human race.
We trust each other, that everyone's doing the best for themselves and the people around them.
But if you think of how life is, you know, Set and Osiris just keep fighting. You're always going to have this energy trying to pull things down, corrupt things, test humans for their and that's where you have to, like, even the Babylonians didn't last forever. This you know, they ended.
Well,
3,000 years, but they ended.
Well, I guess the battle with Horus and Seth that you talk about, ultimately it was decided.
I think it's still going on.
Potentially, Seth maybe never gave up, but it was judged by that. I think maybe it was more the cause was why Horus was deemed the more worthy of the two. What he was fighting for and what Seth was fighting for, maybe that's all it broke down to in the end, was even though they couldn't split them, it was Thoth had to come up with splitting their causes. So
but I mean, my interpretation is that Osiris was a divine king with a good heart. And Set was a bad-hearted king. And so it's that battle that it seems to happen through history. That good versus bad. And that's what, like, the Egyptians, and that's what I'm writing a book about now, basically.
So if he was defeated and deemed to be not worthy or something, he's never accepted it, you know, if that energy still exists. And
well, it just keeps coming and going. Macbeth or the kings and queens of England. There's been so much. There's so much. Everyone trying to conquer each other.
And that treasonous, poisonous mind that we talk about. You know, Loki, Scar, same storylines as well. You know, they're all the native Indians. They talk about the lessons of the trickster, the coyote, and it's a very similar kind of. We'll show you a falseness so you can figure out the truth.
Exactly. Maybe spirit is a trickster.
In a lot of ways, I think a lot of people learn that way, the hard way, rather than just trusting things on face value.
I see that. I see that the universe just it almost is just a trickster. Like it tricks through teaching lessons. And then you think you understand truth, and you think then you're understanding something different. But do we ever understand anything? Is the other conversation, you know. But if you have a level of understanding of what is truth, then different things. And if you're not willing to see that truth, the universe will trick you with something to wake you up to it.
Get you back onto that trickster energy. Education system. You can do it the easy way or the hard way. Basically, that's the way the universe thinks about it.
But that's, and then I guess if you get to that where you start to see the universe as a bunch of series of jokes. I know it can be that can be crazy because people have been through a lot of hard stuff.
A lot of people say God's got a sense of humour.
Right. Yeah. So I tend to see it as that. It's like the laughing Buddha.
Yeah.
He just he saw the enjoyment.
And maybe that's all it's all about.
Of it.
Maybe that's what it's all it's meant to be.
Yeah. They say that when Buddha was enlightened, he started to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could imagine that.
Well, yeah. And Jesus said that heaven is for the children, yeah? So it's like, it sounds like it's meant to be somewhere fun,
right.
playful,
Playful.
a lot of laughter.
Yeah, that's very true.
So.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Good. What's it? That's like 25 minutes.